Nice and refreshed from the holiday weekend?
No.
Yeah.
Tired.
Tired?
Worn out.
Too much sleep?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good problem to have. As y'all know, it's time getting ready for the AEP season. United Healthcare being a good partner of ours. You guys all write a few of their products, so you kind of understand a little bit. But Rodney, as he has come in years past, has agreed to come down and go over the 2017 plan information, kind of go over some things that are a little bit different, kind of where their focus is. So if you can, hold the questions back a little bit towards the end. But he's going to kind of talk about a little bit. So, good to Rodney.
Okay, great. Thank you, Scott. And as always, I'd like to thank all of you in here for your support in your business. As a group, we'll continue to be one of our primary groups in the state and certainly in the Low Country and the Charleston market. Every United Healthcare person's favorite when it comes to that. Sales, obviously, we got to have sales to make things work, so y'all make the world go around there. But also the compliance, the stuff that y'all do, the training that y'all receive here, and coming to events like this, coming to trainings like this, it's very obvious that you do those things and that you're serious about what you do and that you want to do it the right way, because we never have compliance issues out of this group. So I thank you for the sales, but I also thank you for that, because that's
No problem.
that's my biggest headache. I will pass around a couple of sign-in sheets. We'll start right here when that's. We're going to go through some changes, things that we've got going on. If I can get my computer to cooperate here. But the good news is we have not completed our full-fledged training deck yet. So that means abbreviated version and only the really important stuff, right? I'm sure everybody's extremely happy about that. But for the most part, 2017 with United Healthcare, Care Improvement Plus, is going to be standing up here, it's going to be a boring year, which is a good thing. A boring year meaning not much in the way of changes, not much in the way of disruptions. Got some maybe new opportunity, which is exciting, not boring, but a lot of what we know, a lot of the things that we've always done in the past, the things that y'all have done with Care Improvement Plus for years, not a lot of changes there. So when we say that it's going to be a boring year, boring in as much as nothing major that's going to have huge impacts on you or your current books of business is probably the most important thing there in my mind. For last year, y'all, we may have had our slides and stuff. Last year, going back into the spring of last year, United Healthcare, the slogan, the message, the thing that we're supposed to talk about from a sales perspective and all of that stuff is 3 different points, 3 key factors that we've been really driving home in the last 18 months or so. And in all honesty, it wasn't a very strong message last year from our standpoint in South Carolina because of some of the changes that we were doing. But strength, stability, and hassle-free. And I think that was our message as we started into last year, going through last year, and then we realized that the hassle-free part of that, with the CIP fully integrating into United Healthcare, the hassle-free part of that didn't exactly hold water last year, I'll be the first to admit. Especially from a customer service standpoint, as we made the transition, basically flipping the switch January 1st, where all the membership was no longer on the Care Improvement Plus model and was on the United Healthcare model. It was a challenge. I think there were some challenges with commissions early on in the year. Fortunately, most all of those issues worked out in the agent's favor, in that we had commissions that that had been basically paid on membership that wasn't still membership, and it kind of caught some folks by surprise and changed some commission numbers, some paychecks pretty significantly as we worked through that. But we found out that most all of those issues were actually stuff that we had overpaid on, and then we didn't go back and collect, didn't go back and charge back on that amounts across the board. So, but I guess the point to all of that is the hassle-free part of it wasn't exactly true there last year. But I think today, as we prepare for 2017 and we sit up and talk to you about what's going on as we move into the 2017 AEP, the hassle-free part of things is very much alive and well. Has everyone, or has anyone noticed a difference in either the help desk or the customer service over the last 6 months?
You don't have to have the person say, okay, well, give me my Medicaid status.
Right, Medicaid status. Medicaid statuses don't have to have the member on the line anymore, right? That's a good one. I'd forgotten all about that one. That really just took place a month ago. But now if you've got the proper HIPAA information, we can verify Medicaid status, LIS status on the phone without the member, right? A lot of the things that we're doing have been geared toward making the agent experience better, as well as the member experience. When we talk about hassle-free, that's been the focus for, and it's been not only hassle-free for the agents, but also hassle-free for the members. The member services has improved tremendously as we've made that transition. Again, early on in the year, there were some bumps in the road, but I've heard nothing but great things about the member experience recently as well. What are some of the other things that we've done for agents?
Lean app is
Make it
awesome.
hassle-free.
The Lean app is really helpful.
The Lean application, okay.
Extremely helpful.
Great. That's the general consensus that I hear. Every now and then someone says it's not so good, but
It'd be nice if you selected the primary physician and actually came over back into the Lean app, but
yeah, I've never used it, and even I know that's a problem. Yeah. And a lot of those enhancements, it continues to get better. Hopefully that will continue to be the case. But I've heard a lot of people go as far as to say it's the best application software in the marketplace, particularly for Medicare Advantage. So some progress, some good stuff there. We had something 2 years ago that wasn't even functional. Heck, 2 years ago, I don't think Care Improvement Plus, we couldn't do anything electronic. Everything had to be paper. So some changes there, but just August 1st, there were a couple of big things that came about from an agent perspective. That was pretty big news. Successor agent program. Have you heard about that? Familiar with that? Is that okay?
We haven't discussed it yet.
Hasn't really come up as a topic. Well, those are some things that that successor agent program is something that, depending upon your contract and how the contracts are written, it may give you the ability to do some different things with your books of business, and some possible things that you can do to plan for the future. In the event of a passing away of an agent, or an agent becomes unable to take care of their books of business, may give you some options there. Again, kind of depends on the contracts, but that's one aspect of it. Another big one that I do hear out of the market often, that will certainly affect everyone here, is the agent of record. Everyone familiar with the agent of record changes? Okay, so for years we've kind of had issues with different plan, people moving from one plan to another. You write somebody on a gold plan, they don't get verified as having a chronic illness, and then telesales moves them to a Medicare Advantage plan, and we will lose that business, right? Or someone, you write them on a Medicare Advantage plan, they obtain Medicaid, probably with your assistance, and then they get moved to a dual plan, and you didn't do it, so you lose agent of record. So United Healthcare, as of August 1st, all business that's written by an agent into a plan, as long as that plan is not moved by another field agent. So if it's done internally by telesales, agent of record is going to stay with the agent that wrote that business initially. Now obviously if they go to another plan and come back, that's a different thing. But if, in those scenarios that I mentioned, if agent of record changes, like I said, someone loses or gains Medicaid, someone loses or gains eligibility. Sometimes somebody may be diagnosed with diabetes and they have a house call or something and they get changed into a gold plan before you get back out there to see them the next year, right? You may not have even known that was going on. Agent of record will be maintained in those situations.
Can you talk about the process again? If somebody has a dual and we try to switch them into a silver and they don't verify that, what we have to do? Because I heard that for the first time from you last week and I was really surprised.
Okay, so and we may need to, actually y'all have a plan, I know you do, because everybody that I've contacted is getting the messages. Some of the emails, what he's referring to is the chronic illness verifications, right? Some of you I know have been receiving messages saying that such and such hasn't been verified. Again, part of that hassle-free, part of trying to help the agents as much as possible. When someone doesn't get their chronic illness verified, we send a notification via secure email to the email of agent of record. Okay. Somehow y'all are getting them out to all the different agents, right? Even though some of them come to an admin email. I know you are, because I follow up and you're like, oh yeah, I've already taken care of them with the ones that I've contacted. So I know it's passing through, but anyway, what we want to make sure of is that you understand if those members, when they are set to terminate, when you get so let's say you write somebody for an August 1st effective, right? Using a chronic illness plan, a gold plan, we'll say. Well, let's say a silver, and that's using that example. I think it was a silver for someone that was on a dual. Now, when you write someone to a chronic illness plan with United Healthcare, they are enrolled into that plan immediately. Okay. Verification process is 60 days after the effective date. So August 1st enrollment, we have 60 days to verify that chronic condition. If we do not verify the chronic condition, the member will be disenrolled. Okay? You will receive an email right at 30 days, right at the same time the member receives a letter, and then you'll get another one about a week before the end of the 60 days. And that's usually when I get a notification, and I'll follow up, just make sure, hey, if you got a secure email, I don't get the names, but I get notified of the agents that have it. Check on it. But the key where there was some confusion previously, is that if that does not get enrolled, they will not go back to a dual plan, for example. They won't go back to the plan that they were on originally because they have been enrolled into the silver plan. They would then be disenrolled and they would then be on original Medicare. Okay? So, if you move someone from any Medicare Advantage plan, not just ours, but any other plan, and that termination notice is sent to you, after 60 days they're disenrolled, they will be back to original Medicare, not back to the plan that they were on, okay, because the enrollment has actually taken place.
Hey Rodney, a good question on that. If somebody was enrolling into a gold plan and that happened, would that be considered the one instance of going into a disease plan, even though?
No, that's a good question. Yeah, and I thought that it would, but it does not count as their one-time special enrollment or special election because it was never verified.
So if we enroll them back into a dual plan, are we now their agent of record?
Yes.
So if somebody comes in behind all my dual plans and just throws silvers out there, whether they can get it or not, gets them disenrolled, they can technically do that and be malicious if they want to?
Technically. Yeah, technically. Which is a very odd situation. Technically, you can do that with a gold plan. You know, I mean, they got to sign the chronic illness condition form that says that they have diabetes or heart condition or whatever. But as you said, technically, if they enroll into that plan, they get just enrolled in 2 months. But you know, those are the things we can kind of one-off may happen. But if there's, you know, at this point, and this will be the case going forward, there will be no need. The dual plan is never going to be better than the silver plan again. The gold plan, the regular Medicare Advantage will never be better. That was an internal mistake that will not happen again. We learned from it. It should never have been that way, but we won't see that again. So the situations now may be a mistake, maybe just not realizing or you know, just not simply not having the chronic illness or not able to get the verification done.
What can we do about it? Okay, because I've got some messages sitting on my desk. What can we do about it?
Someone that doesn't have the chronic illness?
No, they do have the chronic illness, they just haven't been
Verified.
Verified?
Yeah, they haven't been able to verify.
Well, you guys get the form completed, okay? You can assist the member can take that to the doctor, you can assist the member with that getting to the doctor. The important thing to know about the chronic illness verification piece of things, which of course is a very important part of our business, is that our intention is to call the doctor's office and get the chronic verification done verbally. But there is a phone number that you can contact the doctor's office. When we call them, we leave them a message with the phone number to call. They call in, and it is a verification line. It's not a press this, press that, hold, and you know, for the provider to call in, they call in a specific number, and it's immediately answered by a live person, United Healthcare Verification Service. And so, you know, as an agent, you can help get the form completed, make sure that the member gets the form completed, or help make sure that the doctor calls in.
Okay, if you registered them on lien, how do you get that form?
Well, you still would do the form is still done outside of lien, I believe. Is that right?
No, it's in lien. It's all in.
It's all in lien, yeah.
But the printed
Get it out of the.
copy.
Get it out.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that we've still used the chronic verification, the actual form
Wow.
outside. I know that it asks the questions, but the provider part of it is.
Yeah, everything is right in there. It's awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Except
So
for
you-
when you need it.
Well, keep in mind, you gotta have a book, right? You gotta have a book to give to the members, so use it in the book. But again, our process is to call. We don't want the forms. It used to be it was all about the forms. We really don't even want the forms. Our process is to call, get the people on the phone, check the appropriate buttons within our processing system, and have it taken care of that way.
What's the verification number?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Is it on the form?
No. No.
No, ma'am. No, but I can get it for you. We may already have it. You don't have the doctor's number for the doctor to call? Don't have that? Okay. I can get that for you. I'll make a note here to do that. But yeah, we're having less and less of those issues. I get the email list of all the issues in the state every month, and every month that number gets less and less. There's smaller and smaller amount of these calls that have to be done. And the process is actually changing just a little bit so far as what you're going to see in the book part of my new presentation should have some of that information, but it's not been finalized yet, so I won't have it for you today, but I know that there is going to be a better explanation as to the process for both the agent and the member within the new enrollment kits, which I know we got those pre-ordered. I'm sure a lot of you probably got them pre-ordered for yourself, but
Well, the thing is
we don't have the downloaded. If you notice, the downloaded version was not available, or the ability to download was not available yet, because all of that stuff has not been finalized just yet.
The R98, 96, I think it was, none of those books were available to order. They
They
were
changed
just
the
asked,
numbers.
they
Yeah,
changed
they
all
changed
the
the
numbers.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. So a couple of things while we're getting to that topic, we'll go ahead and talk about follow up to the agent of record. Right, we talked about the agent of record. If telesales moves the business, agent of record stays. There may be a break in agent of record, but it'll be corrected within 30 days, and the original record made whole on their payment and placed back as the agent of record. The one thing that we are doing this year, which will affect some of you, may not have some more than others probably, is the LPPO product that we've had in the past. We will not have an LPPO product this year. Okay? This was actually in large part a request from the field. Every year we have some of our just a very small handful of our key partners. Scott makes the trip up to Columbia to kind of represent Cornerstone, represent you guys as a group. And this was something that really came up in those meetings, is that we have two products that are very similar, and this kind of encourages some of that flipping and moving backwards and forward and that sort of stuff. And realistically, the products were not that much different. We did differentiate a little bit. Last year we did make an attempt to make the LPPO a stronger product. Cost a little bit more, had some stronger benefits. But in all honesty, they were still very similar products. So what we did is we made this year, and you'll see as we get into the actual benefits, we made the RPPO product more like the LPPO product. Okay, so a couple of things, the lower copays and the lower drug deductible. We'll talk about those specifics. And then we didn't increase the premium. Actually, we decreased the premium on the RPPO product a little bit.
Scott,
However, yes, ma'am.
on the pre-orders, I pre-ordered, but the Clarity book, there's a picture of it on that little timeline, for when, but you can't order the Clarity.
The Clarity
book.
books actually come from the agent toolkit.
They're in the agent.
They're in the agent toolkit, not the materials for it. Yeah, and I can help you with that. I can help you with that.
Barbara,
individually.
that's something.
Yeah, Barbara, save all your questions for them.
So we can help you with, so.
Okay, yeah, we can get that stuff available for you. So, going back to the LPPO, this will be considered a service area reduction, okay? So any of your membership that you have, I know a lot of you get into those LPPO counties, Clarendon, Orangeburg, those areas just off the coast here that have some of that LPPO products. Those members will have to be moved, okay? Here's our plan. As United Healthcare, our plan is to basically move that membership for you so that you don't have to, so that you can focus on your new business. We've got the agent of record policy in place. Okay, so our plan, our game plan is to call those members and get them moved for you. We will make no less than 6 touches between October 1st and December 7th in an attempt to move that membership for you. We'll be moving them to the RPPO plan In most cases, there'll be some other options that we'll talk about, but regardless of what we do, we're going to move them for you. You'll be made agent of record on those again, basically February 1st. There'll be a 30-day break, as I mentioned. Okay? If that member says, well, we'd really like to see our agent or see an agent, then we're going to get that request back out to the agent that owns it. Okay? As of December 7th, any membership that we have not been able to move internally, we will get those lists out to you. Okay? So our initial request was to get it out at the beginning of October 1st, but we were told, no, we're gonna wait and do it December 7th. So those of you that have those books, December 7th, anyone that we haven't been able to move for you, you'll get a list of them, and of course technically you'll have to the end of the month, you'll have permission to contact. At the end of the month, they'll no longer be your clients unless you have other lines with them, which you very well may. And if that's the case, you'll actually have through the end of February, right? Because they will have a special election by virtue of losing their plan.
What's really important about what Rodney said there is that should not be your primary benefit of what to do come October 15th. Because those clients, more than likely, a lot of them will be able to move with you still being agent of record. You can focus on new business and other areas you need to get to, and then once we get closer towards the end, knowing that you still have to the end of the year to contact them.
If it were my business, I'd call them between October 1st and October 15th and just let them know, make sure they understand, and make sure they understand that you're there to help them. You know, you're going to have that extra time to meet with them. Or if they say, you know, I could just do it over the phone, okay, well, after October 15th, someone from United Healthcare will be contacting you by phone. If you'd like to just do that, then you can do that. And then that way you're kind of covered. They know if they need something, you're there, you know what's going on, they can contact you if you need it. Okay? All right. So that's really the only thing that's a little different going into, when I say only thing that's a little different, that's the only, what could be a negative, is that we got to deal with that. But one thing that I will say in that same message, a lot of people are actually taking as positives. If that membership that gets moved, you'll be paid a full commission on that in January or February if it's done by telesales. It won't continue to be just a monthly renewal. You'll get the full renewal at the beginning of the year. Yes. No. Now the question was, if as a new agent writes that business, if an agent writes that business, then the agent that writes the business is going to keep the business, right? So if you're in the field and you're out there and you come across LPPO that someone else has, I mean, we don't want to cannibalize each other. Obviously, that's the reason why we have the agent of record protection in place. But as an agent, you know, if you come across someone that's not being serviced by their agent, you move them, then it's going to be your business. Okay.
How will we, will they receive a book, and then that's how we will know that they've already been enrolled into that?
The agent, the members will receive basically a termination letter. A letter saying that their plan will no longer be in existence. It'll probably have a phone number for United Healthcare to contact. Again, that will be part of our, let's get this membership onto one of our existing plans. Okay? Okay? Any other questions? It's actually for those, if you've got, I mean, heck, if you've got 100 of those members and 100 other gets moved, that's going to be 100 full commissions versus 100 monthly commission payments. So could actually generate some pretty good paychecks for the first of the year. Okay. All right. So getting into the product a little bit, and kind of address those things that are out there, things that I want to make sure that you know for 2017. We talked about strength and stability. United Healthcare is now number 6 on the Fortune 500 list. Obviously, a tremendous amount of strength and stability there. Number one in the Medicare Advantage. Number one in the Medicare Advantage space. Number one by enrollment. In South Carolina, it's kind of been about neck and neck, really, with one of our competitors, so far as 1 and 2. Actually, at this particular day, I don't even know who would be 1 and 2. Both right there. I'm confident by the end of the 2017 AEP that we'll be significantly ahead. I'm confident in that, but still, we've got about 100,000, almost 100,000 members in South Carolina. So some very good numbers and some more opportunity that we're going to talk about. That will be a lot of opportunity for us right here in the Charleston market and in other areas too that maybe we haven't. Some different options, some additional options that we'll have. Okay, so just South Carolina as an overview, 966 some odd thousand Medicare eligibles. Medicare Advantage penetration 22%. Our market share in that is about 40, almost 45%. So we'll talk about things that are basically 3 different markets: Low Country, Midlands, and the Upstate. Specifically in the Low Country, about 143 eligibles. And this is actually just in a couple of different counties that are highlighted there, which is why the number is quite a bit lower, because it doesn't include the entire Low Country. The reason why these counties are highlighted is that we will be introducing some HMO products in these counties. Okay, Charleston County, Berkeley County, and Beaufort County will have some HMO options. And we'll talk about the plan details here. In those markets. The 2 plans in Beaufort County and Charleston, it's actually just considered in Charleston, considered a Charleston product, but it actually includes Charleston and Berkeley County. These 2 plans are going to be very similar in nature. These will be true HMO plans, okay? True in the sense that you will need to stay within network, except for emergencies. Okay? There will not be a gatekeeper. There's not a referral required with these plans, which may be a little different than some of the traditional HMOs. But you will need to stay in network except for emergency cases. The premiums on these are going to be $26. That's in Beaufort and Charleston markets both. Primary care physician copay is going to be $10. Specialist, $45. Inpatient hospital is $295 days 1 through 6. And then here's the big one for us. And I want to preface this by saying this is only the HMO. This is not Care Improvement Plus. But there is, on the HMOs, there will be a fixed outpatient cost on the HMO plan. Okay. $295 on the Charleston and Beaufort products.
How about MUSC?
MUSC is not in network, will not be in network. Yeah. We try and try and try, they just, they don't want to play ball. Our status with the Care Improvement Plus plan and MUSC is still the same as it's been, meaning that the facilities will accept the plan out of network, no problems utilizing the facilities from an RPPO standpoint with the Care Improvement Plus product, okay? And most of the physicians will. That's not carte blanche, but a very high percentage of the physicians will accept the Care Improvement Plus product, okay? Nobody affiliated with MUSC will be part of the HMO network, okay? So MUSC with the HMO will be emergency access only.
But you do have silver sneakers.
Yes, yes, the HMO plans will have silver sneakers, okay? And again, I want to preface that by, it's not the Care Improvement Plus, okay? So I want to make sure that no one hears, oh, we got silver sneakers on everything now. No, just the HMO products, okay? Just the HMO products, and just the HMO products have the fixed outpatient cost. Maximum out-of-pocket on the HMOs, $5,900. Drug cost, very similar. Drug deductible, $210 on the HMO plans. And I know some of you work the Beaufort market. The Savannah network, the Savannah United Healthcare Network, will be loaded into this product as well. So for the folks in Beaufort or farther south that may utilize Savannah providers, those United Healthcare, that network will work into this network.
Any major hospitals down that way that aren't in the plan, like Hilton Head or Beaufort Memorial, they all pretty much?
I think we're good with all of that. In fact, this market is probably, this will be our best HMO markets because MUSC, nobody works, MUSC doesn't, you know, there's no competitive advantage there from anywhere other than our Care Improvement Plus product is a very big advantage. But I think we're going to be fine from a network standpoint, particularly in Beaufort County. I think this will be a really strong plan in Beaufort County. I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of our major competitors lost Trident contracts. So that may be a big deal.
It's not supposed to say Humana.
Yeah. One of our other major competitors where there's only like 2 players.
Lost Trident? They lost Trident?
That's what I believe I saw a letter to that effect.
That's funny because Humana said you lost it.
Who were they here?
No, they're not here.
But I think from that standpoint, for that very reason alone, I think Beaufort will be a very strong county, and I don't think we'll have network issues there. I'm going to talk about some other areas that are going to be a little bit different. Like I said, from our HMO product standpoint, we really got the best end of the deal here in this market. So the Care Improvement Plus product, we'll go ahead and talk about that. Again, this is the RPPO. Do away with the LPPO, so all we have now is the one RPPO product, which will be South Carolina and Georgia. The Care Improvement Plus product is virtually unchanged from last year. I mentioned a couple of areas where we got a little stronger, really took more like the LPPO. I'll focus on a couple of those. Number one, the premium did go down a few dollars. It's going to be $36 instead of $39. Okay. The primary care physician copays are going to be down to $15. I believe they were $30 last year on the RPPO. So we did away with the LPPO, but we really took a lot of those same benefits and put them into the RPPO without the raise in premium. The specialist copay will still be $50. Inpatient hospital the same. Outpatient is the same, 20%. Okay. Basically, the only other big difference from last year is the drug deductible. Last year, I believe it was $210 on that plan. This year, the drug deductible will be $95 on the RPPO, the standard Medicare Advantage.
3, 2.
Yes, 3, 4, and 5. Tiers 3, 4, and 5 will have that drug deductible. Tiers 1 and 2 will not. Basically, everything else that y'all know about Care Improvement Plus. I know we've got some new agents, some unfamiliar faces in here. I'll be happy, and Scott, you know this, we can get together and do more of a chronic condition, more of a deep dive type of training whenever you see fit for that. But most of you know the Care Improvement Plus product very well. Very little changes, no you know, like provider, last year we had the big thing with the insulin and some, you know, some different things. No, very few changes with the Care Improvement Plus product. I'm not aware, at this point, I'm not aware of any provider changes with Care Improvement Plus. We can still say that every hospital in the state accepts Care Improvement Plus. Never know when those things are going to change, but at this point, pretty well everything that you do business with Care Improvement Plus, very little changes other than those little positive things that we mentioned. Okay, notice the everything is green or blue, which means it's better or stay the same. Nothing red this year. That's always a good thing. Passport benefit, good question. We've not talked about that a lot because we've not had the HMO product. The passport is basically a benefit that allows someone to use another United Healthcare network for a short period of time. And I think maybe 60 days, I think, maybe 90. It's a short period of time. Let's say you were in New York for the summer because it's just too doggone hot here. You could hook up with a United Healthcare network in New York or wherever you may be and utilize that network for a period of time. That's what the passport is. Of course, it's built into the program, yes sir. You have to access it and say, you know, I want to utilize this network, but it's an automatic given that you have the ability to do that using a United Healthcare network.
Is it limited, or it's just, you know, anything emergency, or is it limited?
No, for the passport, it would be unlimited. The time frame is limited, like you can't use it year round.
Right, but I mean
but-
services.
Yeah, the services would be unlimited. You could use, you know, whatever referrals, specialists, whatever you would need in that other area. And in fact, that's how some of our folks, you can use it. It was built to say, okay, you're, you know, snowbirding in such and such area or you know, whatever. It's kind of designed for that purpose, but it actually works out to where if you've got a, you know, if there's a you know, a specialist or doctor or facility or something there that you may need access to, if it's in network, you can actually utilize it just to go see that doctor. Okay, so the Care Improvement Plus product, I won't talk much more about that. We've pretty well got that covered with those benefits. No other real changes, as I mentioned, with the Care Improvement Plus. So talk about the Midlands. Couple of HMO opportunities there. Orangeburg, and then what we're going to call the Columbia HMO, which is going to consist of Lexington and Richland County. These are going to be strong plans, $16 premiums, $10 copays, primaries, very similar to the rest of the other plan. The only difference really being the premium being $16. These we're really going to have to wait and see what the network looks like come October 1st. At this point, Lexington Medical Center, they're not much easier to work with than UHC. So I don't expect them to be in network, which is a pretty big deal for Lexington County. Orangeburg County, we're working on getting them. We may or may not have them come AEP. Okay? So this is a really great product by the numbers, by the benefits, fixed outpatient cost, fixed or silver sneakers included. Okay. One thing I also want to add about this product and the Low Country products that we just saw, there is an MA only version to both of these. So for the veterans out there that have drug coverage, okay,
Zero premium?
zero premium.
Oh, just like your competitor, I see.
Yes, sir. That competitor is, they've gotten better of us on that business. These two plans, these HMO counties only, these same counties will have a zero premium MA only.
So in Charleston and Berkeley and Beaufort?
Charleston, Berkeley, Beaufort, yes, sir, and then Lexington, Richland, and Orangeburg. So Orangeburg, I think if we get the hospital there, I know a lot of the Orangeburg folks go into Lexington and Richland County anyway. Palmetto Health should be networked. And if we get the is it Orangeburg Regional, I think it's called. If we get those folks, this is going to be a very popular plan. Extremely popular. And again, still emergency use. A lot of people go into Lexington and Richland County anyway, but those will be some options. I think something, certainly a strong plan to offer. I think for those that the HMO fits, I think these are going to be very good plan options. Okay, moving into the upstate. Do we do any, got anybody who works the upstate?
None of this.
Tiny little bit? I'll touch briefly on it. Of course, this is the Greenville County is where we've had the HMO, the one county we've had it previous years. Extremely strong plan there, zero premium, extremely strong network in Greenville County. We don't have any network holes in Greenville County. It's a very strong product there. Again, I mentioned zero premium, $15 primary copay. A couple of other little changes on the inpatient. Outpatients still $295. Spartanburg County is another county where we'll have the HMO. It'll look the same as Greenville County, zero premium. Networks still working on Spartanburg, but it could be another strong county. We got one hole there to fill in Spartanburg County that would really make a difference there. But again, both of those will have the silver sneakers and all the other stuff. These two actually, the zero premium plans, these will actually have a $50 over-the-counter benefit. The other HMO plans do not, the ones that we already talked about, but these two will. Okay?
Yeah.
Quarterly, yes. Any questions about the HMOs or product stuff? Okay, talk about the mapping. It came up briefly when I mentioned ordering materials. And I meant to give a better explanation before now, but better late than never. On the Medicare Advantage, you'll notice on the right side there, it says mapping from R9896-012, probably can't read that.
Yeah.
But all the dual, the silver, Medicare Advantage and the gold, they were all started R9896, that was the contract number. They will all start now with the R7444 number. Seamless transition for you, seamless transition for the members. It's just a contract number change, so you don't need to do anything. Your members won't need to do anything. That'll, aside from maybe ordering materials, you'll never notice the difference. And the contract number will be on the new cards and stuff. But again, that will be a seamless transition. Nothing that anyone needs to do to keep that business on the books. All right. Get into the chronic and the dual plans. Quickly go over a couple of changes there. What do we got here first? The silver plan. Silver plan, really no changes at all from last year, from current to 2016. Actually, I really think there are zero changes in the silver plan, all the same benefits. Still zero copay hearing aids. We still have the dental, the comprehensive extra dental benefit with the silver plan. I believe all of the plans will have the added dental benefit, the dental rider, okay, that we had on the Medicare Advantage plan this year. You may not have used it, some may have not, but that will be available, I believe, on all of our plans this year. Not a great plan, right? Not anything super strong about it, other than the fact that it does not have a waiting period. Okay? Someone that needs that plan, that needs the benefits, very thorough explanation in the front of the book, if you recall. Someone that needs that, all they gotta do, can't get paid on it, we don't get paid anything on it, but all you gotta do is let them know that it's there. If they need it, they can call the customer service number and they'll be implemented the first of the following month. This year, it was only available in the Medicare Advantage RPPO. Next year, it will be available on all the plans.
Is there a reason why the silver plan has listed all the premiums and everything? They don't have an actual separate page if they have full Medicaid, because that's a really hard sale. When you're showing them, I see all these co-pays and everything, and sometimes you're just like, I don't believe you, and I'm not.
The silver plan is not truly a dual plan. And when I say that, we would never want to put anyone on the silver plan that didn't have full Medicaid.
Right.
But the way the plan was designed originally, you did not have to have full Medicaid to go on the plan, so they have to disclose those 20% co-payments. Now, we know we've never put someone on it that didn't have full Medicaid, but if you did, they would get enrolled into the plan, and they would have those 20% co-pays. So you just got to point to that little blurb in the
And that's
thing.
an extra 10 minutes of like,
I fully understand. And there's people that enroll into the dual plan for that, strictly for that reason, even though it's a big difference in benefits. It's just easier to just, okay, well, I want this plan. It says 0, I want it. Agent gives in, I fully get it. I understand that.
maybe for 2018.
We've been fighting this battle for 5 years now. I don't think it's changing. Easier to. They don't want to have to resubmit a new contract.
I was gonna say, if they pull it out, they could possibly lose.
If they pull it out, they may not get it back. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, one
So,
part where we're
so
switching.
still the same tough sale there. It'll still be written the same way. Okay. The gold plan, the premiums will be down to $16.
Thank you.
On the gold plan, slight reduction there in premium. Everything else is identical. No other changes to the gold plan. Just a slightly reduced premium. Okay? The dual plan. The dual plan, we have added over-the-counter benefit to the dual plan, the same as we had on the silver plan. To make us a little more competitive with the MMPs. 62 a quarter on the over-the-counter, same as the silver.
You're still gonna have to mail 0 co-pays for tiers 1 and 2. RPPO.
Yes, the RPPO, unfortunately, the 0 copay does not apply to the dual plan, so the silver and the dual advantage do not have the 0 copays. That is something that we're actually addressing as we speak, but for whatever reason, I guess the way it builds into LIS, it wasn't. We had the 0 copay on all the other plans, tiers 1 and 2, but that does not translate to the dual plans.
Most ends are in it.
Is LIS going to lower the premium of the HFO?
Good question. Question was LIS. What is LIS going to do to premiums?
0.
We totally botched that last year. The LIS aspect of things, the LIS premiums. So we got it right this year. We got it back right again, and I'll talk details about it. Of course, varies per plan. But last year was a total miss on the LIS. This year looks a lot more like the way it should. Okay, so LIS numbers for 2017. So the Greenville County was already 0. And I'm going to talk about the 100% numbers here. Okay, you can see the variations there based on the different levels of LIS. But so let's just work with where it matters. The gold plan, Gold plan premium with LIS for 2017 will be 50 cents. I'm not even sure that we'll bill that. We'll have to see how that translates into an actual billable number. Yeah, I'm just thinking all these premium nightmares.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, no charge to you.
So last year that was $7, I think, and 10 cents, which still wasn't bad, but 50 cents is much better, obviously. So the gold plan premium with full LIS will be 50 cents. The Medicare Advantage, so the RPPO, that's $36, okay, it will be $9.70. So I think we're back in the LIS game.
So anyone who already is enrolled paying the higher amount, it will be deducted going forward?
I'm sorry?
Anyone who was already held LIS but they're paying a higher amount would be reduced in 2017?
Right, so like this year, I think that was $25.10, I think, okay? So yeah, so your members that are currently paying $25.10 will be paying $9.70. And then the incremental changes as you move down the spectrum there. So so that's a big deal. That's something we can. There's value in that certainly to the folks that have the low income subsidy. I think $25 was really priced us out of the market for those folks. 50 cents for the gold, $9.70 for the standard Medicare Advantage, I think is a huge help. So the Charleston and Berkeley County HMOs, those will also, is it 40 or 50? 50 cent. 50 cent. Orangeburg is 40 cent. Beaufort is 40 cent. So 40 or 50 cent on the HMO plans. Except for the York and Lancaster. I totally missed York and Lancaster. Anybody do anything in York and Lancaster? Okay, there are HMOs in those counties. They're $34 or something like that. There. No HMO in Darlington. No.
Just a reason.
So some nice premiums there for the low income subsidy folks. Okay. Talk a little bit just to kind of to close things up here. Talked a good bit about the hassle-free and the member experience. You know, I think this year, a lot of times we talk about member experience and you talk about why you're better than your competition and why you're doing things differently and why a member should, or an agent for that matter, should do business with us versus a competitor. And of course we know a lot of times it just comes down to the numbers, the things that we've gone down to, the benefits, but United Healthcare is truly doing a lot to change that member experience. One of the things that we had our national meeting a couple of weeks ago in Minnesota, and we had several members come in to talk to us and just personal experiences, you know, heartfelt gratitude and things like that for the things that we're doing. But this advocate for me is our membership platform. And we started talking about it last year, and quite honestly, when we were talking about it, it wasn't even in place because it was still the Care Improvement Plus, and we went through that transition. So, but now all of this this process is working full scale. And basically, the advocate for me is the customer service kind of built-in logic and things where, you know, when a customer calls us, based on caller IDs, based on the number that's calling, we try to predict what that customer is calling about, right? Are they calling to ask a simple benefits question, or are they calling because we know we sent them a denied claim 30 days ago? They're probably going to be calling to say, what in the heck is this? Or, you know, or have they called us several times about an issue in the last 30 days already? You know, using that information to determine basically the level of expertise that we need to handle that call. So instead of going to, you know, automatically going to your first line of defense, that elementary type call center person, we know they've got to be out there. Everybody's got to start somewhere and work their way up, right? But instead of, someone that's had a recently denied claim, instead of going to that person, they're gonna immediately go to a claim specialist that can help get resolution, help get answers to their questions immediately. We've seen this, we saw this work. They did numerous different things during our conference to kind of show us how this thing works. They've got the National Excellence Center, which is the top level of these folks that they get the job done, they get the problems resolved on the phone. They have the means and the ability to give that type of resolution immediately. And if they don't, they basically take ownership of the situation. But the entire call center aspect of things within United Healthcare has changed drastically in such that we're no longer measured by, call centers typically measured by how quickly you can get on and off the phone, right? How quickly you can take a call and satisfy that member enough to get them off the phone so that you can move on to the next call, okay? Our entire way of thinking has changed in that now we take these incoming calls. It's not how quick can we get them off the phone, it's what can we do to help them. And when I say that, obviously we're trying to help the reason why they called, but also, is it Mrs. Joan who is 6 months past due on her latest mammogram? Or is it, all of these different colonoscopies and all of these different things that different people need, wellness visits being something that we try to encourage everyone to do, their annual wellness visits and things like that. But each person that calls in, that's an opportunity for us to set an appointment, basically, to get that person the help that they need. I think last year it was something along the lines of 148,000 appointments that were set as a result of inbound calls. So that's just opportunity, right? That's an opportunity to get those testings, the screenings, the things that need to be done anyway. It's an opportunity to get them done on the spot. And it saves lives. We talk about house calls. That's still the same. All that's still, part of our care platform. But this really takes it a step further. We're still making the outbound calls. I hope your group is seeing it. Scott, I'm sure you can tell me, but retention, our retention numbers continue to increase, and we continue to have better retention as a result of welcome calls. And we're not doing the OEV calls anymore that we used to do several years ago that drove everybody nuts. But we still call and introduce ourselves to the member. Thank you for choosing us. What can we do to help? All of these contacts that we're making now, it's an opportunity to improve that person's health care, and that's the way we treat it. And it's, like I said, it's an entirely different philosophy of taking a call, let's get off the call and get this resolution as quickly as possible and move on to the next one. Every call now is, you're rewarded for taking the time to get some of these extra things done when you have the opportunity.
That OEV call, can they set them up on mail order at that same thing? Get in the right department?
I'm not sure. It's not even called an OEV call now. It's a welcome call.
During that welcome
and it's
call,
not
can
the
they
same
say,
thing,
oh yeah,
but
can you help me with mail order? Like, can we do anything to help? Yeah, I want to do mail order. Can they do that?
I would think so.
But that's what I tell my clients are going to happen. I'm assuming that's what's happening, but I've never heard anything back. So.
If they haven't heard anything back, they're asking the questions. Yeah, I don't see why not. We want to do mail order. So any opportunity we have to do that.
OTC benefits guys for silver and the other plans that they have it, do they get that automatically in their welcome pack, or do they have to request that?
Yes, they will get that in their welcome packet.
Automatically, they don't have to go and call in and request it.
That's correct.
Again, another thing I tell them, but I'm just assuming it happens. So.
You got it. You got it. So that's my 2 cents for the day. Any questions? Yes, sir.
The silver, the comprehensive dental, it's $1,000. Does that cover dentures, or what does it cover?
It does not cover dentures. In the, I believe in the book, there's a list of things that it does cover. Is it not thorough there?
Not at all. It says
$1,000 comprehensive benefit. Yeah, I'm certain it does not include dentures. But I don't know off the top of my head. If you send me an email Actually, I may add it to my list. Problem is, I don't always get back to my list, so if I don't, ask me to follow up with me. But I'll see if I can find out what that comprehensive. I'm hoping that the new book will have a list, because I know that's something I
And that's above and beyond Medicaid, right, Rodney?
Yes, sir.
I even called into the helpline, they couldn't tell me anything.
Yeah, that's, if you call member services, like with the member on the line, you've got a silver member, that's where you'll get answers.
Okay.
You know, if you call member services, the help desk, they're gonna have access to the same type of stuff that, that I have. I don't even, if I'm thinking back on it, I don't even think it's in the evidence of coverage. 200 some odd pages, I don't think it's even in there now that we're talking about it. I think I've looked for it before. I'll see if I can get a better explanation on
There is
it.
a resolution that's anything out there.
I'm not sure. I don't know that we ever got resolution to where we could find it. But I'll see what we can do.
All the calls stay here in the United States?
Yes, no overseas calls any longer, no overseas help desk.
Excellent.
All of that is, we tried it, it didn't work. We heard you. We're done with it.
Yeah, the clients didn't like it very much.
No,
the clients.
no, clients didn't like it, agents didn't like it, no one liked it. Anyone else?
I didn't see any changes in transportation. Does it just remain the
The
same?
transportation benefits are all staying the same. Yeah, so we've got a lot of the, all of the perks, all of the things that you're used to. If I didn't mention it specifically, it's all still the same. Like I said, I say boring here. We like boring. That's pretty. Keep everything the same, and we're pretty happy with that. So.
Don't we expect to have an answer for the dual mail order?
The dual mail order. I don't think that's going to be something that's going to be able to get resolved this year. I think that was a miss.
It's a change from last
When they
year.
call in.
Well, no, it's not. It's not a change from last year.
Depends upon their level of LIS as far as.
I've
But 99%.
I've heard that it-
Zero.
I've heard that it's worked out to where some of it has gone through under the zero platform. Our executive director for South Carolina said that it had the zero premium, but then I called Optum and talked to some folks there, and they said no. So I'll see if I can get any follow-up to that. I think the answer is no, it doesn't have it, and that'll probably be the same for 2017. But if I can get a different answer, because it's too late. I mean, everything, all the benefits are final now. They are filed and what's complete. So whatever's filed is what we've got at this point.
But they can go local and get it really inexpensive.
Right. Yeah. All of that medication, and that's the reason why it's a little different, because it's all through low income subsidy. Any other questions? Well, thank you again so much for being here.